This week on One Devotion, a current champion traces the roots that launched him on the long road to success. A former champ who has returned home recalls his club's magic moments a decade ago. A sharpshooting rookie remembers stepping stones on the way to his blazing debut this season. And a selection of Euroleague players show how well they can play off the court too. When Real Madrid's Gustavo Ayon won the Euroleague title last spring, it was the culmination of a remarkable journey for the 30-year-old centre. Just 12 years before lifting that trophy as champion of a faraway continent, Ayon had never played basketball beyond his home village of Zapopan, Mexico.
Zapopan es muy pequeño, tendrá alrededor de 500-600 habitantes. Es una comunidad muy pequeña al norte del país y la verdad que pues bueno, no se tenían muchos recursos para salir a otros sitios y más, no necesitabas absolutamente nada más para ser feliz y disfrutar de lo que tenías ahí, ¿no?
Indeed, Ayon and his basketball dreams did not lack for support.
Es el deporte de la familia y es el deporte que más he practicado en torno a mi familia, ¿no? En torno a lo que rodea a toda familia, amigos y también dentro de mi pueblo, ¿no?
The work that Ayon saw his parents do to provide for the family during his boyhood in Zapopan had a big impact on the person and the player that he became.
Trabajé de pequeño con mi padre en el campo y más grande trabajé en algunas cosas, en la construcción, en restaurantes, trabajé en algunos sitios, pero realmente la ética de trabajo la aprendo de mi padre, la aprendo de mi familia, la aprendo de mi madre, del esfuerzo que ellos tienen en el día a día y es ahí donde aprendo realmente que la única manera de lograr objetivos y de lograr alcanzar tus metas es trabajando.
Although he played with friends and at school, Ayon didn't think seriously about basketball until he was almost an adult. Then his love of the game brought huge changes, among them moving away from Zapopan for the first time at age 18.
Fueron emociones muy fuertes. Para mí en ese momento realmente no entendía el por qué pues, tenía que dejar a mi familia para lograr una meta o un objetivo o mismo un sueño, ¿no? No entendía el por qué tenía que dejarlos atrás y seguir yo solo, con el respaldo de ellos a distancia, pero prácticamente tú solo a buscarte la vida, ¿no? Y pues fue muy duro por el impacto que generó, que nunca lo había hecho. En 18 años de vida y de estar con ellos, pues nunca me había despegado tanto tiempo y nunca me había encontrado a tanta distancia, ¿no? O sentirme en su momento, en ese momento de despedirnos, el llegar a sentirte realmente solo, ¿no?
Ayon's move to the regional capital of Puebla, with more than 1.5 million people, meant adapting to a city that was 3,000 times more populated than Zapopan.
Un cambio de vida totalmente diferente a lo que yo vivía junto con mi familia, en donde mi entorno era algo muy pequeño y llegar a una ciudad como en su momento lo fue Puebla, pues para mí fue un cambio muy drástico. Principalmente eso era en lo personal y segundo en lo deportivo, pues aprender todas las cosas básicas, lo que son fundamentos y todas esas cosas necesarias para empezar a jugar baloncesto.
Ayon learned enough to progressively make his way from Mexico to Spain, to the NBA, and back to Spain for his Euroleague debut with Real Madrid last season. And what a debut it was, with Ayon playing a major role at the Final Four as Madrid won the club's first continental title this century before its home fans in the Spanish capital.
Venir a un equipo donde realmente las expectativas son muy grandes, donde tienes muchísima responsabilidad, donde el Real Madrid como institución genera mucha presión. Y al final, por lograr el objetivo por el cual yo fiché con el Madrid, pues me sentía muy orgulloso orgulloso de que estuviera mi familia presente, mi hijo. Principalmente mucho orgullo por lograr un objetivo más en mi carrera.
And while feeling the pride that comes with winning the Euroleague title, Ayon could not help but think back to Zapopan, where his basketball dreams first took root.
Tener ilusión de llegar al máximo nivel, de jugar en las mejores ligas del mundo. La verdad que tenía la ilusión, no sabía cómo, no sabía de qué manera lo iba a hacer, cómo lo iba a lograr. Entendí en un cierto momento de mi vida que era la única manera era trabajando y esforzándome para lograr el objetivo. Pero sí lo pensaba, sí lo tenía en mi mente y lo que no tenía en mi mente es cómo, ni cuándo, ni en qué momento llegaría, ¿no?
Growing up in Badalona, Pau Ribas was always destined to play basketball. The town was a well-known hoops hotbed even before the Dream Team made history there in 1992, when Ribas was 5 years old and just started playing himself. He remembers well his first debut in the game, and especially the way that his family was very much part of the basketball obsession in Badalona.
My father mostly, he played professional in Badalona and Tenerife and some teams in second division. And he won one Spanish league, I think in '78 with mythic Mokas Lavnic in Badalona. When I born, they give me a basketball, my uncle, I think, but it was my choice. I started to practice with my friends of the school, and I like it. But if I want to play another thing, I could do, but I like basketball. In Badalona it's difficult. Don't play basketball because you see basketball everywhere, and it was my dream sport. Well, it was a long time ago. I started with 4 years old, but I remember the speech of our coach in the first game. I don't know why, but I remember that moment. I was with all my friends of the school in Badalona too, and I remember that speech, and it was a good speech because we won easily first game of my career.
Few Euroleague rookies have enjoyed hotter starts than John Diebler of Anadolu Efes Istanbul, whose great shooting stroke and long-distance accuracy have put his talent on display early and often this season. Diebler now ranks third with 42 three-pointers to his credit this season, and his 49% accuracy is by far the highest for Euroleague players who've made at least 30 shots from long distance. Basketball fans back in his home of Ohio might have guessed as much, however. Diebler grew up setting records there as the top high school point getter in that state's history, outscoring legends like LeBron James and Jerry Lucas by more than 500 points each over 4 seasons.
My dad's a basketball coach, and I have 2 older brothers who also played. So when I was younger, I used to always be in the gym. As a manager,
A 27-year-old shooting guard arrived to the Euroleague already boasting a reputation as a born scorer and lights-out shooter, and he only needed about 10 minutes in Efes's season opener to prove it. Playing on the road against Limoges CSP, Diebler made his first shot, a three-pointer of course, and soon was 3 for 3 from behind the arc in the very first quarter of his debut. Diebler finished that Efes victory having made 6 three-pointers, tying the record for a season opener, and giving him the most triples in more than 13 years by a player in his Euroleague debut. It was just a sneak peek of things to come from Diebler, who despite attempting twice as many three-point shots as two-pointers, has never in his pro career made less than 40% from the arc.
I was a ball boy first for my dad's teams in high school, and I would always shoot on the sideline. Most of the time I was getting in trouble for not really doing my job as a manager or ball boy, but it's paid off now.
Those hours on the sidelines already proved worthy long before his pro career. Not many people surpass marks held by LeBron James, but Diebler did that early in his final high school season and kept going strong. He finished as the only player in Ohio history to score more than 3,000 points in high school, and in the process broke a record that had stood for 22 years.
My senior year, kind of before the season, it was something that I was aware of, but it wasn't anything that I really thought about until I got closer and closer to the record. So I was just worried about trying to get back to the state and try and win another state championship in high school.
By the time he left school in 2007, Diebler had broken the previous state record, which had stood since the mid-1980s, on his way to finishing with 3,208 career points in 4 seasons.
I was fortunate enough to play with a lot of good players too in high school, and you know, we had a couple extra games. My second year in high school, we won the state championship, and so playing those extra games helps.
Next, in 4 seasons at Ohio State University, Diebler made 374 three-pointers, putting him in the top 25 all-time in NCAA history. As a pro, he needed only 2 Eurocup campaigns with Pinar Karsiaka Izmir to surpass 100 three-pointers with the highest accuracy rate, 46%, for any player in competition history who reached that milestone. Diebler surely has the ability to threaten Euroleague three-point records in the future. But whether or not that happens, he can always look back on the fact that he outscored LeBron James back home in Ohio.
It's cool. It's cool now, and I'm sure as I get older, it'll be cool to look back on, and you know, I'm sure someone will come and break my record soon. So.
Hello, this is Kyle Weems.
And this is Matt Howard. We're from Strasbourg. We're going to show you a couple things with basketball.
What do we do first with this ball?
So you take the ball.
Dribble this way. Run.
We run down the court. Too slow.
Corre.
Fast break.
Spin around a little bit. Spin around.
Now I work in the post. Use my elbows.
He passed it to him.
Pick and roll. Rebound. Foul. Shoot the free throw.
No look pass.
Oh, that's an assist right there.
Assist is a thing that Marco never does.
See, he would have slam dunked that.
Dunk is a really strong layup.
He jumps off 2 feet, flies in the air. He switched hands with the ball a couple times. This way. Maybe do a little windmill.
Bravo.
And then he done. Nobody can stop him.
All right, that's good. Yo, I was running out of things to say.
Me. We play a lot in the Xbox in the locker room, and so far, me and Milos, we play each other the most in FIFA, and I think I have the upper hand right now.
Ali Traoré, for sure, is a geek. Really, the real definition of geek. He has his own room to play games, watching manga all day. So he's a geek.
Okay.
Depending on the game, I think I play the most, but Caponen's probably the best at FIFA.
Magnificent player.
Probably Edgar Solanos, because he likes to play with his PlayStation console a lot, so I think he
Przemek Zamojski, my best friend, we've played together for 7 years, I think. So wherever we go, it happens, we go together, but he always on this, he's playing these video games, especially at home.
I would say Bogdan, because I was with him last year, team roommate, and he was playing the game. He was playing games all the time, so I would say him.
I think Emircan is a big gamer. Like, he's the crazy about that thing. I think that he's the most who likes play games.
Well, Alex Abrinas, he likes to play video games.
Me for sure. I play some games. I played against a few guys, but I think nobody's really catching up with me.
But I think Dosh is the best at FIFA right now. He's unbelievable. Nobody can beat him. So I think Dosh probably just at FIFA. But me, because I play all types of games, basketball, football, and FIFA now, so I think it's me.
Kenny Gabriel. Yeah, he likes movie. He attack every time. We go to hotel. He brings the PlayStation 4. He play everywhere.
It's me too. We play all the time when we travel. We play Mario Kart. And all the time I'm the winner, for sure. From far.
Oh, yeah.
He probably cooks spaghetti and he makes something with shrimp, I think.
For sure it's not me, because I'm terrible at it.
He's French, so he can make some frogs for us.
Along with several familiar faces, CSKA Moscow's challenge for Euroleague supremacy this season features a handful of new signings, one of whom is far from a stranger to the Russian powerhouse. Nikita Kurbanov grew up in CSKA's youth ranks and spent most of 6 seasons on the first team before leaving in 2012. Most memorable was his rookie Euroleague season, when Kurbanov was a regular contributor as a teenager and CSKA won its first continental trophy this century.
То, что эта команда была крутая, то, что это был единый механизм, и вместе с тренером, вместе с всем офисом проходили через все трудности. И вот именно запомнилось то, что это был единый коллектив, который боролся друг за друга на площадке. И, наверное, с моей точки зрения, большую роль тогда сыграл Вантерпул. И, и до этого еще был Холден и Лэнгдон, которые именно задавали темп как внутри команды, так и на площадке.
Kurbanov remembers helping CSKA defeat Barcelona in the semi-final at the 2006 Final Four in Prague, and his team's positive mentality ahead of the championship game against the back-to-back champion going into that game, a team that had often seemed invincible, Maccabi Tel Aviv.
Запомнилось, был настрой команды, не было ни капли сомнений, наверное, и, наверное, запомнился переломный момент в Маккаби. Не знаю, помните ли вы его, но тот момент, когда Паркер шел с мячом и подскользнулся в углу площадки, это был такой, наверное, ключевой переломный момент, после которого ЦСКА почувствовал такой, сделала большой глоток кислорода и пошли до конца уже доигрывать матч с явным преимуществом.
The victory in Prague ended a 35-year Euroleague title drought for CSKA, bringing the trophy to Moscow for the first time since 1971, which made it an extra special experience for all, including one of the youngest members of that team, Kurbanov.
Да, безусловно, когда на протяжении долгого времени команда не может выиграть и она достигает той цели, к которой она идет, безусловно, это запоминается, откладывается в памяти. И надеюсь, что этот год не станет исключением.
Kurbanov appeared in the 2007 Final Four when CSKA missed defending its title by just 2 points, but was away on loan in 2008 when the team came back to lift the Euroleague trophy again. He returned to help CSKA reach Final Fours in 2010 and 2012. but his role was never bigger than this season, when he is averaging career highs in every statistical category as a full-time catalyst for a team with the Euroleague's second-best record to date. Back in his home city with his boyhood club, there's nothing more Kurbanov would love than to relive the feeling of 10 years ago by helping CSKA to conquer the Euroleague all over again.
Ну, безусловно, потому что сейчас стал старше, появился опыт, и хочется уже, так сказать, в новом качестве игрока. Пришел в ЦСКА и хочется выиграть.
Today we're with Maccabi Fox Tel Aviv, and it's Devin Smith and Sylvan Landersberg. Time to go scavenging. First task, find something round that's not a basketball.
Round that's not a basketball.
Shows a cup of the lid of a cup of coffee.
Find something the same colour as your jersey. What have you got, Devin?
Oh, that's cheesy. Promotion right there? Maccabi Fox. That's cheesy.
Yeah, that's good. What about you, Sylvan?
Energy gel.
Okay, point for Devin. Find a really cold thing. Bottle of cold water. We'll give you that point, Sylvan.
I won again, baby. Got that ice. What you need? You need it for your beverage, you need it for your knees, your feet, whatever you need right here.
Find something to drink that's not water.
No, it's a swig in here. It's a special shot.
What have you got?
Good shot of coffee. Keep your day going.
Find Taylor Rochester's shoe.
Oh. I got two shoes. I brought two.
Yeah, but it's not Taylor's.
Man, you brought one that I threw at you. I brought two. I don't know. I came in the room with two shoes. That's all I know.
Find a dirty object. Go on, get looking.
Damn, I was just going to do that to you. Look at that. Somebody done made a mess on this shirt. Did you just like wipe everything on there? I didn't put nothing on there. I just grabbed it. Oh!
Devin's, yours was dirty, but Sylvan, you got something dirty first. Sylvan's point.
Yes, thank you.
Find Guy Panini's signature.
Is it even on there though? Hold on.
I think it's on there. Can you find it?
Guy Panini signature. All right, I lost. Look at that. All right, you got it.
Well done, Sylvan.
The second half of the top 16 gets underway with round 8, which sees a coaching icon return to his former home in the game of the week and a local derby charged with playoff implications. The game of the week comes from Group E, where unbeaten Fenerbahce and league-leading shot blocker Epe Udo travels to Athens as their legendary head coach Željko Obradović takes on his old team Panathinaikos, not to mention his former player and teammate Sasha Djordjevic, in a battle between two of the hottest teams in the competition. In the same group, a key showdown for playoffs positions takes place in Belgrade, where Crvena Zvezda and all-round threat Quincy Miller will look to make it 8 wins in 10 home games this season against determined Anadolu Efes Istanbul and master passer Thomas Hertel. Elsewhere in Group E, Darusshafaka hosts Unicaja and Cedevita travels to face Lokomotiv Kuban. Group F features a meeting between two giants currently outside of playoff position, as Barcelona and Olympiacos look to give themselves a major push towards the next phase, in a crunch clash which will see Stratos Perperoglu go against his former teammates, among them recently re-signed Kostas Papanikolaou. In the same group, another crosstown rivalry takes centre stage, this time in Moscow, where co-leaders Seska and the always dependable Andrei Vorontsevich seek to avenge a loss in the top 16 opener to local rivals Himki and former Seska star Alexei Shved. Also in ultra-competitive Group F, co-leaders Laboral Kucha welcome Žalgiris Kaunas and Real Madrid travels to Bamberg. We will be back next week with more Euroleague action.